Alright, so now it's time to do some beer pong. Mafia is going to tell you the appropriate insult to use for each situation here. But if you don't know them and you're not using Mafia, you can check the wiki. It'll tell you. Basically, when you see the when I'm through with ye, you'll be crying like a little girl. The proper retort is, it's an honor to learn from such an expert in the field. Do you hear that, ye craven blackguard? It be the sound of your doom. Can't be any worse than the smell of your breath. And this one we don't have the retort to. Not a single man has faced me and lived to tell the tale. The proper retort would be, amazing, how do you shave without a mirror? That's the one insult we don't have. Oh no, that's not the right one. It would be, it only seems that way because you haven't learned to count to 1. Yeah. So, if that happens, just do it again. And you should get the, there we go. So this time, we got the same first two. This time we get the your face is as foul as that of a drowned goat. And you just say, I'm not really comfortable being compared to your girlfriend that way. And there you go. And you saw how long it took once we got to 2 insults left until we got that last insult. And then to finally get to a full 7 insults, it was quite a lot of adventures. We just spent 1 extra adventure because we had to do beer pong twice. You can imagine if we had went for that 8th insult, we probably would have spent at least 5 to 10 adventures trying to get it. So now we have the forecastle open, so we can head over there. And if you get the crusty pirate, you want to banish that one. And I believe we have 1 smoke bomb left, or did we use? Yeah, we do have 1 smoke bomb left. So if we get the chatty pirate, we can smoke bomb that one too. This area can be really difficult if you don't have decent item drops. As you can see, we just fought the cleanly pirate. We did not get the item that we needed. You can use Mafia here and see if there's anything that you can do to improve your item drops. Just keep in mind you have to have that pirate outfit on still. And under creatables, we don't have anything either. So we're only at 125% item drops. If you have access to a familiar, like a Gravy Fairy, that can help a little bit. But as you can see, he's only at 6 pounds. That's not going to help us a whole lot. But it's worth a shot. Okay, so if you get the chatty pirate, you can banish that one. We don't have any items to banish with. Or fight him. We don't really want to use that smoke bomb yet, so I'm going to save it. And clingy pirate here, if you get that one, use the cocktail napkin, and that's a free banish there. Once you have everybody banished that you can banish, you can let Mafia run the turns for you if you desire. Odds are we're not going to get the items that we want very quickly here, though. And we do have everything running that we can run. We can actually do leash. Yeah, that's going to give us a slight improvement there. And we basically need to get these 3 items here: the mizzen mast mop, ball polish, and rigging shampoo. The 3 pirates we need to face for that is going to be the curmudgeonly pirate, the cleanly pirate, and the creamy pirate. This is something we may want to put this off to day 2 when we can increase item drops. If we don't get the items within a few turns here, we'll just wait till tomorrow to finish that one. Alright. Quest 2 in progress, and nothing is happening. Whoops. Yeah, don't hit links in the book mark toolbar there. Alright, we'll hit stop after on that. Is anything even happening? Alright, so apparently we just had a little bit of a hiccup there with everything. It's not a network problem on my end, I don't think, because everything else is running fine. But we're going to go ahead and skip doing the rest of that for the moment. And let's switch over to some other equipment here. And there we go. We're going to need to restore all of our MP. And let's actually just see if we can boost that up a little bit. Assuming that doesn't freeze up our whole game again. Alright, so that's a little bit better. Alright, so what we're going to do first, before we actually go through maximizing our MP, is we're going to assemble our first clover for the day. And we're going to head into the bat hole and hit Guano Junction. And this is where having some stench resistance is important. We don't want to fool around with the entryway. Alright, so first time we use a clover here, as long as we have no sonar and biscuits in our inventory, we will get 2 sonar and biscuits. We want to use both of those. Now we will go through setting up our MP, and then we want to restore our MP. Alright, so we need to restore our MP, and then we need to be careful here after we restore it that we don't allow Mafia to use our MP up while we're waiting to adventure. So we'll set our mood to apathetic. And then Beanbat Chamber. And then disintegrate a bean bat. Reason we're doing this is we get an enchanted bean, which we'll need once we hit level 10, and we get a 3rd sonar and a biscuit. We can use that, and let's set our mood back to our default. And then if you're running low on meat here, go ahead and switch to your leprechaun and swap out one of your things here for Polka. And let's run leash. Yeah. There we go. Restore HP if you need to, and then hit the boss bat's lair. We should hopefully be hitting level 9 here in a few moments. You can get some decent meat drops here, which is why we want to switch to a meat drop familiar and tweak our mood a little bit. Not tremendous, but we did get 639 meat here. If we had the ability to increase our meat drops more than that, we probably could have gotten closer to 1,000. And let's just double check our other items here. Alright, there we go. We can let Mafia run this if we want. It will just give us an error once we've destroyed the boss bat, saying that you cannot reach that area. Alright, and as you can see here, the guide does tell you the delay that you need to run. Once we run that delay, then we can encounter the boss bat, but we may not. You may still encounter the bodyguards. It just kind of depends. And so we've just about burnt through that last turn of delay. Alright, now we can hit the boss bat, or we can hit some more bodyguards. Just depends on how our luck goes. You can set the monster control device to a couple different settings here if you wish to get those different drops from the boss bat. What we really care about here, though, for this particular run, is just keeping that monster level as high as possible, so we're not too worried about that. those drops. Alright, let's go ahead and just manually do the next one. And as you can see, you get the britches if you do monster level 4, or you get the bling at 8. So if you're a collector, you'll want to do that at some point. Alright, so let's go ahead and visit the council. And we're just shy of hitting level 9. So let's go ahead and visit the trapper. Visit the goatlet. If you get the saber-toothed goat, batter up. And oh yeah, you'll want to switch back to either your barrel or an item drop familiar. If you have the ability to, you can banish the drunk goat as well if you desire. However, if you have the ability to summon perfect ice cubes, I would still fight the drunk goat at least once to get a bottle of whiskey so you can make the perfect old-fashioned. And of course, because we don't have any banishes left, we're going to encounter that guy 3 times in a row. Alright, so figurine of a cold seal. I was hoping to pick one of those or 2 of those up here. We got 1. We'll use that in a second here. So we got our 3 goat cheese. We just hit level 9. Let's go back to the council. Let's switch back to our barrel. And we get the strange leaflet. And we'll just let Mafia run the leaflet for us. If you don't know all the steps of the leaflet, look it up in the wiki. It's very simple. The main thing is you want to have the magic words to get the stats, and Mafia knows those and will do it for you. So you can get the 200 for each stat. You'll also pick up a Gru egg. We'll save that, and we'll probably pull a spooky mushroom tomorrow instead of one of those browser cookies, and use that as our food. Or we may save it for day 3 as well. So once you got the instant house, use that. It's going to give you better HP/MP restoration if you have free rests. Alright, so we do have access to the chasm now, and we can go ahead and click that and use what we have of the bridge. Alright, so the crypt, or crypt rather, are we going to do that today? I would prefer to save that for when we do the war. That way we can use some cornucopias and get the gravy boat hat and use that to make it go a little bit faster. So what we can do at this point is you can do the typical tavern. That one you want to usually have higher monster level to do it, just to increase your odds of getting the tangles of rat tails. Alright, so let's bust a ghost. We'll actually open up the bakery real quick too. And let's open up the skeleton store. Alright, now let's go back to the overgrown lot and bust that ghost. So, that said, with all the buffing monster level and stuff for the tavern, we can still go do it today, and it's not a big deal. So here's the way I do it. Is I go straight down here to the bottom corner, and then I go all the way to the left, and usually you find the faucet in one of these 2 squares. Another thing that you may be wondering is, are we going to do the liver of steel? We're actually going to skip that. Liver of steel is really only helpful if you are doing more than 3 days. If you're doing 4-day runs, liver of steel is helpful. You're going to get an extra 15 liver points over the course of those 3 days. Obviously, you can't use the extra liver points on day 1 because you're using that with the liver of steel. And while I'm talking, I'm doing these the wrong way, so I guess we'll just keep going with it, because I'm just hitting again instead of actually clicking the squares. Either way, go all the way to the left and then get to the bottom corner, And we're probably going to find the faucet pretty quick here now. And we've encountered 0 rat kings. And there we go. The faucet is in that corner. So we go visit Bart. And we get our swill. Right, so we have a few options here. Since we're in softcore, our odds of skipping the bridge are pretty low. Mostly getting the bridge from the pirates is going to be the main thing. We could wait till day 2 or 3 and pull some smut work keepsake boxes, but those are kind of costly and most people aren't going to want to spend the meat on that. The guide will tell you how many fasteners and how many lumber you need, though, to finish it. So we can actually just go to the logging camp and let Mafia run till we get 16 lumber. Or now 15. Or you can use clovers to get 3 of each as well. That's always an option. Let's go ahead and just set it for 15 plus 15. And let's do 15 turns and see what happens. Alright, so we didn't get all the ones we needed, but we got most of them. So we're going to call it good for now and actually save the rest of these adventures for tomorrow. So one other thing here that I forgot to mention earlier. If you don't have a work shed, War Bear induction oven. It's pretty cheap to get in the mall. And what this does is when you cook something, usually the first one of the day, you have a chance of getting 2 of those items instead of just 1. And so what we'll do today is we will go ahead and we'll make a milk of magnesium. And there we go. As you can see, we went to cook 1 and the oven spit out a second one. So that's going to take care of our milk of magnesium for the next 2 days. So we can actually strike that off of our pull list for tomorrow, and we're going to change one of these to spooky mushroom, and that's actually going to give us a extra item here. And then we'll save the those few Knobgoblin lunchbox items we got for day 3 probably. And then we're going to go ahead and get a bucket of wine. Real quick here, let's see. What level do you have to be for that? Level 11, okay, that's what I thought. Alright, so we'll get our bucket of wine, and we will pull that. And then we need to unaffect something so that we can cast Ode. And real quick here, let's see. Okay, we need linoleum ore for the trapper. So let's go ahead and make a clover and hit the mine and confirm that we do indeed want to use the clover, and we'll get 1 of each ore. And then let's go back here and let's go ahead and drink that bucket of wine, and then we'll try pulverizing some things here. Yeah, we have 2 of those, so let's pulverize 1 of them. And that gives us 1 wad so far. We want 2 more. What else we got here? We can do 1 of those stuffed shoulder parrots. That should be enough powder and stuff to make one more wad. It is not. Okay, well, let's go ahead and just use a synthetic marrow because I'm done fooling around with that. Alright, so we're over drunk. We've got 51 adventures. And what we're going to do now is do the maximizer for adventures. Hit creatable and see what we get. So we can make a chrome sword. We don't need chrome for the trapper, so that's a viable option here. You're about to spend 1 adventure crafting chrome meat stack. Are you sure? Yeah, I mean, it's going to give us 2 adventures overall when we subtract out that one that we're using, so it's worth it. One thing you can do is get the rapid prototyping skill and perm that. When you're not doing standard runs, that's going to give you, I believe it's 5 free craftings a day, so that would have saved us something there, and would have saved us a turn when we made that milk and magnesium as well. But that's fine. We don't have that. How much is it? 1.2 million. So probably not a viable option for some of you people if you're not making that much disposable income. But it is nice to have. And so we're drunk, and we're going to start with 107 adventures tomorrow. We did a little bit over an hour of real time playing, almost an hour and a half, including the pre-work before we ascended. So we'll be starting it up again tomorrow with 107 adventures and all our pulls left. You may want to check your daily deeds. We didn't do the seal fights, for example. We'll save those for tomorrow. That's a good way to level up. I'm not even sure if you can do those when you're drunk. Let's actually just check real quick here because I can't remember. There's some of these things you can do when you're drunk. So let's get a figurine of an ancient seal. And let's get a few seal blubber candles. You are trying to summon an infernal seal, but you are not wielding a club. Right. Oh, right. So apparently we can do it while drunk. So let's take care of that real quick. To be able to summon that cold seal, we need to make an imbued candle using powdered seal bone and a seal blubber candle, so we'll do that. And then we'll summon the figurine of a cold seal. And let's see if Wham can defeat it for us. Come on, Wham. Alright. Let's go ahead and do the wretched looking seal, and that's going to be 3 free seal fights so far used. And then we can do our other 2 by going back to the hermit and getting 2 more of those figurines of an ancient seal. And how many candles does that leave us with? 4. Alright, so that's our 5 free seal fights out of the way. And so we should be good to go. Let's switch back to our rollover gear. And there we go. So come back tomorrow, and we'll be doing day 2. And hopefully, yeah, I'm hoping to get to level 12 and start the war tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. So make sure you come back, hit subscribe if you want to get notified when I upload the next one. Otherwise, I'll be seeing you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.